Chrissy here. I'm really pumped for tonight's Life Crusher Live, and I'm hoping there's some people out there that want to join me tonight because we are talking all about the blame game. That's right, everybody. It's come off the back. I don't know whether you guys read my blog that comes out every Friday at 7 a.m. If you have not read my blog, go and treat yourself. It's a nice Friday morning read. It's often filled with all kinds of Psych Chrissy reflections. But I must admit, this Friday just gone, I did a reflection on taking responsibility. And I will tell you why in a minute, but I thought, bugger it. I'm going to do it for my live tonight because I loved the topic so much when I was writing about it in my blog. I thought I want to share this topic and this area of interest with my Life Crusher watchees. So, hey Caitlin, how are you tonight? Thanks for joining Life Crusher Live. Dave, I can see you watching there, which is awesome. So we're all looking at taking responsibility tonight, or how do we get out of the blame game, or how do we sort of cope when somebody is adopting that way of managing things. So I suppose this come off the back, and you guys would know that I'm an avid podcaster. I'm always looking for different self-development podcasts to listen to. And more recently, I've been listening to audiobooks because the Psych Chrissy eyeballs at nighttime just do not work like they used to. So I've retired from reading books, guys. But what that means is I listen to books. And I was listening to a fellow that I will call Grant Cardone. He's a business dude. He won't be overly interesting to any of you guys, but he was talking about level of responsibility taking, and effectively that he felt that people's success were continuously hampered by their inability to take responsibility for things. But not just success in business life, success in every facet of your life imaginable. So success in relationships, success in physical health, success in emotional and psychological health, success in any facet of your life impinged on this ability to assume full responsibility for everything. Now, this guy, he takes it to the extreme. Like he was saying, and it touched a nerve with Psych Chrissy because this actually happened to me a few months ago, but he took it to the extreme and said, even when somebody rear ends you in a car, it's your fault. And I'm like, bloody hell, boner, because I call him Grant Cardone the boner, because I used to think he was a bit of a bonehead. And then when I started listening to him, I'm like, maybe he's not that much of a bonehead. Maybe he's got something good to say. So, yeah, and I'm thinking, I remember back to when this car, hit me, it felt like 80 kilometres an hour, and I was stationary. And I'm thinking, okay, Grant, how are you going to explain this as being my ultimate, fault? And he spoke about the fact, the time I left my house, the passageway I took to get to that location, the fact that I'd manoeuvred my car in front of this bloke's, that I was stationary right at that time that he just went boom and hit me right into the back of my car and rode it off. And I'm like, God, really? Is that the length we're going to go to actually feel like we're assuming responsibility in our lives? So I don't know if we would go that extreme, guys, but definitely assuming responsibility, or even adopting the mindset that things don't happen to us, they happen because of us, can actually give us the ultimate feeling of control and mastery of our own destiny. So I probably won't go as far as old mate Grant does, but I will definitely put it out there that assuming responsibility for things that are going on in your life, even though it appears like that it's directly triggered or contributed by someone else, does give you a level of control over that situation. It gives you a level of control over your decision making, over how you might react, over the choices you make to manage the situation, over how you might self-regulate or cope or deal with your emotions. So I think there's merit in some of his madness about, looking at a situation and going, how have I contributed to this situation? Or is there something that I could have done differently? Is there a difference in the way that I can react here? Is there something that I can say to this person or do for this person that might change the outcome of this situation? So I really do believe that to a certain degree, our ability to assume responsibility does give us a level of control. It definitely gives us a sense of purpose or a sense of meaning in contributing to a situation. And then I suppose it gives us license to choose how we might react. And in essence, all of that can definitely contribute to psychological, emotional, physical, relational success, because then we effectively fully assume responsibility for the way that we're inputting into a situation. So I don't know about you guys, but I definitely have really been trying to look at different problem situations that crop up, not only in my own sort of personal or business life, but definitely also in my client's life. And I must admit, it does tend to drive my clients nuts sometimes, because we do sometimes we just want to vent. I get it, guys. We want to vent, we want to complain, and I suppose in that process, what we're really vying for in that moment is alleviating some sense of emotional discomfort. So we blame and we point the finger and we vent and we talk about, how despicable that person is, or how frustrating or annoying, the way that person is responding or reacting to you or contributing to a problem situation. And whilst that might give us some sense of short-term relief, in the long term, it doesn't really work to our favour. In the long term, it can cause, consistent blaming patterns or an inability to assume responsibility in situations. It can have significant impacts on our relationships because, if we're always pointing the finger or if we're always blaming somebody, that can be really frustrating and difficult, particularly in a conflict situation, to get to some sort of resolution. So it's that old, and I think I've used this term with you guys before, it's the short-term gain but long-term pain if we always adopt this mentality of blaming others or just refusing to assume responsibility for a situation. So life crushers out there, my challenge to you is, if anything is happening to you, what level of responsibility do you have in that situation? What can you do differently as far as the way that you're reacting, the way that you're problem solving, the way that you're, I suppose, assisting or supporting that person in the moment, or that scenario that has sort of cropped up or you're having difficulty managing? What's within your power? What's within your control to contribute to that situation in a different manner? And I can tell you now, if you start to appraise and you start to understand situations in that manner, you will definitely feel like you're more in control of that situation. And when you're more in control, you are assuming responsibility for your own success. And like I said, it's not success in a business or a goal setting sense. It's success in a psychological sense, in a relational sense, in an emotional sense, because effectively, we probably desperately want to be successful in all of these facets of our lives. So it's definitely something to think about, you guys. I really want you to have a go. And when there's a problem situation cropping up in your life, what are you in control of? What can you contribute to the situation? What is it that you can do differently? How can you manage yourself more in a manner that's going to be more favourable for you in the end? Don't just throw off your discomfort and blame and vent, and it doesn't serve you in the long run, guys. So there we go. There's a little challenge for you guys on the Life Crusher Live tonight in trying to change your outlook on assuming full responsibility. And don't get me wrong, guys, I know it can be really challenging. I was very challenged when Grant told me that it was my fault that someone had crashed into the back of me. So, guys, in addition to that, if you are looking for a brand new you in 2019, we have got our next Mind Body Bootcamp coming up very, very soon. So if you are looking to establish a healthy lifestyle, not just from a physical sense, but also from a psychological and emotional sense, feel free to click the links on this post. I would love all of you to join myself and food coach and PT Mel on this amazing journey because it really does change lives. Caitlin's here watching tonight. She's been one of those amazing contributors to that program that really has seen a difference and really has experienced success in lots of different facets of her life, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. There we go, guys. I hope that little tidbit has been helpful for you tonight. Now go out and start practicing your responsibility taking. Thank you, guys. I will see you next week.